Hi guys, Michelle here. This week we prepared some vegan kimchi and we also prepared a Korean meal to eat together with the fresh kimchi. Here right now you can see me cutting the cabbage. I always like to completely cut it down. Usually I think the traditional way is to keep it as a whole and only cut it when you want to eat the kimchi, but I think it's just way easier to have it prepared before you're eating it, because otherwise you always have to get the scissors dirty just because you want to eat some kimchi. I don't understand why they still do it like that. Anyways, the recipe I'm using is the one by Kimchi, I think she's called. It's a American YouTuber. No, actually it's a Korean YouTuber living in America that is showing Korean recipes, and I really like her because I think her recipes are really tasty. And she made this vegetarian vegan version of kimchi. I can link it down below for you if you want to check it out. So here you can see me salting the cabbage in salt water. It's already gone. Before I always only salted the cabbage without water, but that meant that you always had to toss it like every half an hour because the salt is not reaching every bit of cabbage at a time. So Youngi's mother suggested to put it in salt water instead, and I really liked it like that. Now that I finished preparing it, it's a lot easier. You don't constantly have to think about it. I still sometimes went there and tossed it just to make sure everything is soaked up. Right now I'm cutting the radish. I really like radish in my kimchi. It brings a little bit of a different taste. It's really delicious. As you see, I'm still struggling with cutting it as small as possible. I sometimes try towering it up like that, but I don't know why it always slipped away. I think it's a little bit dangerous cutting it like that. The carrot was even harder than it, so I tried my best. I think with time I will learn how to cut it slimmer. Koreans generally like cutting their vegetables like that, I found out. Maybe also for bibimbap, they always cut their vegetables in small stripes. I then also added some spring onion. I think that is mostly for a little bit of green color inside. I mean, it also tastes like onion, so it's nice. Oh, and we are already at the carrot. I don't like too much carrot in my kimchi, so I just cut up a little bit of it, not too much. So now that I finished cutting the vegetables, I will put them to the side until I have to use them again. Right now I'm preparing also some vegetable broth, which we are using instead of fish sauce to get a little bit salt inside of it. Here I'm putting some glutinous rice flour and a little bit of that vegetable broth inside a pot, and I bring it to a simmer. And as you can see, I tried getting it to cook for a while. It took a really long time because it has to have the right consistency before I can add a little bit of sugar, which I'm doing right now. Yeah, it has to look like that. And then I will add the sugar. And when that is finished, I will let it cool down. So then the next step was to prepare a little bit of garlic, which is very important for kimchi or Korean cuisine in general. In the recipe it said 9 cloves, but since I prepared double the amount, I would have to put 18 cloves, and I thought that is a little bit too much, so instead I put in around only 10 cloves. And then we are also cutting up, I think, 2 onions, and add that to the food processor. Yeah, as you can see, it's 2. And I think we also add some ginger for a fruity taste. I have to admit, my food processor is not the biggest one. As you can see, I added again some vegetable broth, and now I'm adding soy sauce. In the original recipe she just put some salt, but I thought soy sauce is fitting too. In the end, with my small food processor, I think it would have been better if I added the salt, because as you can see, now that I'm adding the paste we prepared before, the porridge, it's getting a little bit high. And now when we start turning it on, yeah, you will see how I'm already using a kitchen towel. It got all over the food processor on the sides. It was too full. I think maybe next time I'm just preparing all of the onion and garlic and ginger in the food processor and later mix it with the porridge. I think that is a better idea. Despite the small size of that bowl, I first tried to mix it in there, but very fast decided the gotsukaru was better to mix in a bigger bowl. And when I finished that, I just put it aside until the cabbage was nice and soft. No wonder here it's a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm just washing the cabbage, I think 2 times, because it already was in salted water, so I think it already was cleaner than usual. And then I will rinse out all of the excess water. The last step now was to put in the vegetables and sauce and mix it. Actually, I also think wearing something white for the kimchi preparing day was a bad decision, because later I found some of the sauce on my t-shirt, which is one of my favorite t-shirts. So here you can see me mixing it for a long time. When it was finished, I put it into the bowls that are at the side, and I put it like this outside of the fridge for 3 days, and then I put it into the fridge. If you put it outside the fridge directly, it will ferment a little bit faster and be a little bit more sour in the beginning. And that is our Korean meal with some mandu, kimchi and tofu, and rice of course. That's it.
Actually, now salty.
Little bit salty.
But as I said, we already prepared it before, and after some time, when it's fermenting, it's not salty anymore.
So today Michelle making a vegan kimchi and I prepared some dubu kimchi and now everything is finished. Dinner is ready. We are super hungry. So now it's dinner time. Bye bye.